I am your host, James Yoder. On today's show, we are going to talk scheduling rumors, Michigan's Big Ten slate in 2024. What will it look like? And did the Wolverines maybe snub their in-state rival when it comes to the future scheduling inside the Big Ten? Then, Warde Manuel's future. Is he on the hot seat? I don't know. It's going to be a wild seeing. And then a 2023 potential breakout star. What we say a few weeks ago, Jack, we said those off-season workout videos going viral. That's when you know you were in the heart of the off-season, and it got started this week with a relatively unknown, underreported freshman that is kind of blowing up the internet. I am your host, James Yoder. You are watching the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. It's our last live show. If you're watching this later on Wednesday, we went live at 5 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday for our last live show of the kind of 2022 season into the offseason, but we'll get it rolling again coming up in March, maybe late February, before we kind of ramp things up for spring football. Here's a question to start today's show before we dive into the stories. Who is the most underrated player in Michigan football history? Now, you might not agree with what I'm going to say here, but I'm going to give you my answer because I thought about it for about 10 minutes earlier today as I was kind of walking through the building. Most underrated player in Michigan football history. Let me know who yours is. Mine? Don't call me crazy here. Shea Patterson. Why is that? Well, he didn't live up to 5-star expectations. Didn't become a first-round pick in the NFL draft, all that stuff. But Harbaugh would not be Michigan's coach if it wasn't for Shea Patterson. The 2017 Michigan football team could not pass the ball. And if Shea Patterson didn't come to the team in 2018, they would have been a disaster. Harbaugh would have been fired. That team won 10 games, went to Ohio State, ranked in the top 4. And Shea Patterson gave Michigan a chance to be a passing team. And I think he's underrated because he lined up with two of Don Brown's defenses that just absolutely got shredded by Ohio State. And I think a lot of people blame Shea for those losses when they really should be maybe pointing more towards the defense. So let me know your underrated player. Nico Collins coming from Case and Scott. I think that's a good one. Wish he would have stuck around for his senior year. All right, guys. We've got a crew of guys. Harrison Graham, the TCU fan here. Chase Sr. covers our NFL teams. And a couple of our producers, Brett and Sam, out in Phoenix for the Super Bowl. They did me a solid yesterday. They caught up with my guy, Charles Woods, and asked him about Jim Harbaugh NFL rumors. We put it on the channel last night as a YouTube short, but if you didn't see it, here's what Woodson had to say about Jim Harbaugh.
To Michigan, it seems as though every single offseason there's rumors about Jim Harbaugh potentially leaving that program.
Always.
That's a good thing to have because that means that Jim Harbaugh's having a lot of success. But do you think it weighs on the program a little bit that recruits have to worry about that, coaches, players have to worry about that, and there is some baggage there?
Yeah, I think I think it's a little different now because now the players are able to play that game too. But I think year after year, every offseason you're going to hear the same story. Right now it's like same things going over A-Rod and the Packers every offseason. What's going to happen? So I think some players do look at that, but nowadays everybody's moving around so freely. Whether it's the transfer portal or it's the coaches. So I don't think many guys really bat an eye at it anymore. They just understand it as being part of the game.
So Woodson actually had a few interesting things there to say. I think in general, like what Chase, our guy who asked him the question, said, hey, does it make recruiting more challenging? Does it make things more difficult for current players, coaches? I think that's fair. That's what every fan says. Like, how is Michigan going to recruit, promise things? But he did say something pretty interesting that I don't know everyone really thinks about all the time, which is recruits and players really have the same way. They've got the transfer portal. You don't have to sit out for a year. So as much as Jim Harbaugh has held the program hostage for the last 2 off seasons for about a month or so, players can transfer if they don't like it. Now, I don't think that's fair to the players, the coaches, the university, anything like that. But for years, it was, well, coaches can go take other jobs. Players are stuck. Well, that's not how it is anymore. So if a player gets into a school and goes to one, and their coach leaves or he's fired, like coaches seem to do every 3 or 4 years in most programs, then that player has the ability to leave at any time they want. And so I think that's kind of an equitable, fair shot going forward with college football. And those were Charles Woodson's words on Jim Harbaugh NFL rumors. Folks, I keep running into Charles Woodson everywhere. It's like we're best friends or something, right? Our guys tracked him down last night. Charles did several events, a Super Bowl party with us in Chat Sports, a couple of speaking engagements for us. You see us there. You see he got kind of cut out. We should crop that out. That's Jed York, the owner of the 49ers. 2 legends. And then Jed York. I like Jed York. He's fine. But we seem to be hanging out everywhere. I see Charles all the time. It's like we're best friends or something. He's my best friend. Not sure if I am his. But nevertheless, love Charles Woodson and kind of just keep seeing him asking Michigan football questions about once every year over the past 6-7 years. All right, guys, it is back. We've had a little bit of a break with the Harbaugh Heads rumor meter. It's what made this show popular in the first place. Kind of taking the word around the internet, taking all the rumors out there and giving you our takes, reaching out, seeing if we have any sources on them. And we have 3 stories, 3 rumors we're going to talk about with you here on the show today. First up, on the Michigan Football Report, Michigan State and Michigan not being an annual game in Big Ten football? Pretty peculiar. I'm giving this one 2 Harbaugh Heads. I wasn't able to track down a definite source on it and say, for sure, James, this is happening 100%. So I'm not going to put anything more than that. What does the 2 Harbaugh Heads mean? We'll explain the rumor meter for you if you're new to the show. If we give something 0 Harbaugh Heads, that means it's fake news, not happening. 1 Harbaugh Head, small shred of truth, could happen. Keep an eye out. 2 Harbaugh Heads, that's a rumor. People are talking. 3 Harbaugh Heads, pretty likely. If we get 4 Harbaugh Heads, folks, that means it's happening. That means F-A-C-K. That's how Jim Harbaugh spells it. That is how we spell it here at the Michigan Football Report. That means it's a fact. And before we dive into the rest of that Michigan football, Michigan State story, I want to tell you about Athletic Greens, the sponsor of today's show. We are sponsored by Athletic Greens, and I take AG1 on a daily basis and has made a difference in my overall health and well-being. You can get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I started taking AG1 in the morning as part of my daily routine and it has become a habit that I truly look forward to. Not only does it provide comprehensive health benefits, but it also makes me feel ready to take on the day. Whether I'm hitting the gym or just running errands, AG1 gives me the energy and focus I need to power through. In addition, AG1 is a great supplement for recovery, and it's a habit that I love to include before and after my workout. AG1 makes me feel like I'm on the same level as the Michigan football athletes that we all love and look up to, and inspires me to be as great as them. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. 1 scoop of AG1 with water. I drink it first thing in the morning. Done. It also costs less than $3 a day. Pretty good if you ask me. It's an effective daily habit with the highest quality source ingredients. Win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need for your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. The link is in the comments, and Jack's going to toss it in the live chat when we get a moment here as well. Athletic Greens, I've been taking it every single day, making me feel great. It's the best products in the game. Get started with AG1, athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Let's get back to this Big Ten scheduling story. Michigan State. Every team reportedly in the past week or so has had to submit 3 teams that will be their preference for protected Big Ten rivalries. Now, we're not sure if the Big Ten is going to include divisions yet. That really hasn't been shaken out, or if they're just going to go 14 teams, 16 teams. I think they have 16 teams now. Best two records go and play in a championship game. But you've got to have some sort of stability with scheduling. Michigan, apparently, and I have yet to source this 100%, but I just want you guys to kind of keep your ears open out there. Reportedly put Ohio State, Minnesota, and UCLA as their 3, I guess. What am I looking for? What's the word? The 3 preferred protected annual rivalries. And in theory, if they get their way, this means that Michigan State won't be an annual game. It might be like 2 years on, 2 years off. Hell, it could be like 4 or 5 years on, and then like 4 or 5 years off, like you've seen with Wisconsin and Nebraska and hell, Purdue from time to time. I mean, look, before the Big Ten championship game, Michigan played Purdue in 5 straight seasons. So I want to kind of just talk about that, and in a moment, folks, we are going to talk about Warde Manuel and everything that is going on with him. But I want to ask you guys this question before I give my take on the Michigan State, rumor out there. Should they be a protected rivalry? Michigan State, every single year they play. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. See Brad Smith in the live chat says maybe it's because Jim loses to Michigan State so often. Before the last couple of years, or I guess last year, I guess you're right, he does lost to him. He's had a pretty weak run against Michigan State. I think what's the record? 4-4, 4-3, whatever it is now. Mel Tucker had Jim Harbaugh's number. First 2 years, beat him, and then Michigan finally got it done in the Big House this year. But let me know, should Michigan State be a protected rivalry? Y for yes and for no. Mostly Ys are in the live chat. Thinking about this Michigan State potential non-annual game, I want to just kind of rewind for a second, back to the summer. Does the Big Ten adding UCLA and USC, does it make sense? really, does it make sense? Maybe in football, it kind of makes sense here and there. Okay, you get the LA football market, which, by the way, for college football is a crap football market. I used to live in California. Nobody watches college football unless you're from the Midwest. Does it make sense? I guess sometimes for football, but what about basketball? What about women's tennis? What about volleyball? I mean, there's a lot of different things that have to go into consideration. Football drives the bus, but nevertheless, if Michigan State aren't playing every year, you're going to play UCLA every year? Really? Really? I don't know about that. So my biggest takeaway is I doubt Michigan's going to get their way. I bet Michigan State's going to put Michigan as one of theirs, and they're going to kind of say Ohio State, Michigan, probably in Minnesota. Maybe even might be something like a Rutgers or a Maryland to kind of like balance out competition so Michigan's three protected rivalries aren't as competitively driven like they would be if they just put the three best schools that most fans want to see. But I think it'd be kind of a travesty if Michigan State didn't play every year. But from a competitive nature, I think that Michigan is doing this maybe because of the whole rivalry or the whole tunnel incident. Maybe they want to stick to Michigan State a little bit, don't give you the allure of playing big, bad Michigan every single year. But how about this, maybe a little bit, that you're playing a California team every single year, the lesser of the two California teams in UCLA and USC, and you get to travel out there every year. Their fans come here. You can basically say to any prospect in the state of California, we will play in your state 2 times if you're here for 4 years of a career. I think that's what's driving it, and not necessarily trying to stick it to Michigan State, although I think it's probably 20% of it. I think 80% is more about the recruiting, and they don't want to go Michigan State, Ohio State, UCLA. That might be too competitive. That's where Minnesota and the Little Brown Jug comes into play. Guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It is the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. We're approaching 26,000 subscribers. Just hit that subscribe button below the video. It's down in the comments. It's down in the description, and we just put it in the live chat on today's show. Subscribe to the show, putting out live videos throughout the entire season, and now we're going to go in the off season. We'll probably take a 2-week break from live videos, but we'll put out 3-4 videos a week, and we'll be doing live shows again once spring football gets into full go in end of February into March, and April 1st is the Michigan football spring game. Is Warde Manuel on his way out? This is the juicy story of today. We kind of buried it 8 minutes or 10 minutes into the show, but nevertheless, if you stuck around for it, you are going to get the good stuff. Warde Manuel on his way out. 3 Harbaugh heads. If you saw it earlier, folks, that means it's pretty likely it's going down. I've got 2 good sources on that, 1.5 source. One pretty good source. The other one's like, I've heard it, but he's kind of going secondary as well. So there's deafening rumors out there. It's been going on for about 2-3 weeks, ever since the Jim Harbaugh stuff. Harbaugh and Warde Manuel have been talking for months. Harbaugh's mad at Warde. Santa Ono had to step in, persist that he is on his way, and he might be coming to an end as early as this school year, which is only about 3.5 months away from taking place. Now, why would this happen? Really, if you're the athletic director, there's 2 people you've got to make sure that are supporting you. Your head football coach at a place like Michigan, or if you're at Kentucky, maybe it's the basketball coach, and the president of the university if he cares about sports at all. And from what it sounds like, we all saw it play out with the Harbaugh NFL dalliance and the negotiations around a new contract, which still hasn't happened, whether Michigan supported him around the NCAA allegations, which is still ongoing, is that Harbaugh doesn't support him. He's indifferent. And Santa Ono, who's only been in the job for a few months, is kind of saying, I don't know. I just step in. I don't want to be the guy doing your job, Warde Manuel. You can't keep your championship-level football coach happy. What are we doing here? And Santa Ono might just want to grab the guy who he thinks can lead forward a top 3 athletic program in all of in college athletics, all of the NCAA. What my sources are telling me is things are being worked out for a mutual parting of ways either at the end of this school year or potentially at the end of this football season, which will mean between semesters, kind of like last day is January 4th, 2024, 10 months, 11 months from now. But if Warde Manuel is still with Michigan as the AD a year from now, February of next year, I will be shocked. I'm going to think about this out loud a little, going through is who should be Michigan's athletic director? I know you're going to say, James, you should be. I agree, but I don't think I have the qualifications background to be a major athletic director, but I think I can do a pretty good job. But who should it be? I don't know the answer. How about Tom Brady? I know he's not going to take it, but that'd be a pretty interesting one. But it should be somebody who's got experience in the Big Ten. It should be somebody who can be aggressive with transfer portal, aggressive with name, image, and likeness. So let me know who you guys think. I see a Tom Brady in the live chat. Go down in the comments. Let me know who you think should be Michigan's next athletic director. If our sources are correct, Warde Manuel's out within the next year, that Michigan will be looking for a new AD. If you missed it in the last day or so, Michigan has hired another analyst. in addition to the one they did on offense, the quarterback guy that we talked about last week from Youngstown State. Now Nick Gilbert hired him. He's going to focus on the offensive line. He was quality control specialist at Colorado last year. Prior to that, he was at Idaho as their offensive line coach for a year. Prior to that, he was a quality control analyst at Memphis. So he's in his mid-30s. He hasn't been around coaching, it seems like forever. I looked at his background. He may have taken a couple years off, going on a professional career, gone and got his master's and got into coaching. He was a high school teammate of Mike Hart. That's where the Michigan connection is. He also coached with a couple former Michigan people at Idaho, from what I understand as well. What I like about this move, I don't know that much about Gilbert. What I like about the move is that I think Harbaugh is trying to forward plan, backward plan, whatever you call it, for future coaching hires. If Sharon Moore continues to excel in his role, maybe he becomes only the offensive coordinator. Michigan needs an offensive line coach. Okay, Nick Gilbert learns under Moore for a year or two. He's the new O-line coach. Or if Moore were to go on to take a head coaching job elsewhere and Michigan had to hire an OC to come in, boom, you've got Gilbert as well, can come in, backfill that offensive line role. Like the hire, don't know a ton about him, but Mike Hart's vouching for him. That's good enough for me. And we saw from Wolverine, Alaska, I think, asked about Amorion Walker, right? Was that right, Jack? Yeah, Wolverine, Alaska says, what can you tell me about Amorion Walker? Heard he has some speed, right? He's from Louisiana. He was only a 3-star, and he was committed to Notre Dame for a while. Michigan kind of picked him up right at signing day a year ago. Is he a freak athlete? Is he an absolute freak? I'm giving this one 4 Harbaugh heads, folks, because I saw it with my own eyes, and you can't doctor a video. If you record something on your iPhone, that's facts. You cannot doctor a video, I've been told. So if you saw the video, just go search his name, Amorion Walker, Amorion Walker. Is he a freak athlete? Now, Clayton Safey, he works for On3, the Wolverine. He tweeted out the video first, what a ton of people have, including a bunch of national accounts as well. Amorion Walker with a hand time 6'10", 3-cone drill, which would be the fastest time in the NFL draft scouting combine, right? Those are for players going into the NFL draft, first-round picks. Devontae Smith, I don't know, Cheeto, what's his name, from the Tyreek Hill, I'm forgetting that. Like, what about the fastest players in the NFL? He would have had the record. Clayton Safey put that out. You see that was on February 7th yesterday at around 7:15 a.m. Eastern, so go look at CSAYF23. He's got the video. Check out Amorion Walker. But Will Johnson put the video out on Instagram first, and Safey took it from there. Here's what Johnson had to say about 3 weeks ago about his 2022 Count 3 counterpart at cornerback. It says Miles Pollard, Jade McBurrows, Amorion Walker. And right, Amorion Walker, guys, is a wide receiver according to Michigan's depth charts and the Michigan football roster. Guys who definitely might be out there. We'll have to work and figure it out who all and what our rotation will look like and who will play. Interesting stuff, right, from Will Johnson on the future of the cornerback position. Amorion Walker position switch. From what I saw there, I am an advocate of, I do think a team like Michigan should, for the most part, put their best athletes on defense, unless that athlete is just an absolute stud that he just can catch every single pass out there, or he's a generational running back. Put your best athletes on defense. Make sure you've got the best athletes on defense, and you don't need 5, 6, 8 good athletes on offense. You need like 2 or 3 really good ones. So I'm kind of for that. So Amorion Walker looks like an absolute freak running. Could be setting NFL combine records in 2 or 3 years from here. And I think we should move him to defense for sure. Will Johnson hinted at it. Clearly seems like that's what's going down. They're hanging out all the time. If you get 2 guys who are coming together, working out together, one's an All-American level Will Johnson next year. Amorion Walker, folks, I think he could be the breakout player of the spring. Just because Will Johnson's vouching for him, they're working out every day. And look at that speed. You move him to defense. That's part of the game with the cornerback. You got the hips swinging there. You got all kinds of agility. As long as he has any ball skills, bonk, Manscaped, and can make a play like Mike Sanders still and others have for Michigan over the last several years, then you have got yourself a potential sophomore, redshirt freshman level starting quarterback opposite Will Johnson. Have that tandem for at least 2 straight years. I like what I see out of Amorion Walker. Go check out that video out on Twitter or Will Johnson's Instagram. And while you are on the internet, you guys know we've got a Facebook page with 67,000 followers. If you are not, folks, go ahead and follow it. I'll see if we can get this in the live chat. If you're watching on demand, it is down in the comments and the description of today's video. Just put it in the live chat. It is facebook.com/HarbaughGoBlue. I don't know why we chose that URL, but nevertheless, join 67,000 other Michigan football fans. We update the page every single day, just like we do here on YouTube. Go join the show, facebook.com/HarbaughGoBlue.